I'm joined here by Prakhar from Chess Numbers India. Hello, Prakhar bhai. Very exciting day tomorrow. Final round of the Grand Swiss.
Yeah, very exciting. Very excited to see what
And
happens.
whenever there are calculations, we just, I write to you and you are kind enough to do all those number crunching. And I think it's time for us to look at one table which you have built, which I think gives a very good picture of what we can expect tomorrow. So this is, can you explain what is here on this table?
Yeah, sure, I can explain. So this is basically a view of what the standings are right now, right? So after 10 games, these are the scores that people have. Like we know five people, Matthias, Firouzja, Neiman, Giri, Kamer have seven, and a bunch of people have 6.5 half point behind, right? The final column that you see is the tiebreak. Now, if you go to chessresults.com and try to see the tiebreak one, you will not see these numbers. The reason is because chess results calculate the tiebreak as of end of round 10. But the way tiebreaks work in Grand Swiss is it's the average of all the opponents that you have played during the course of the 11 games minus the lowest rated opponent that you've played. So the 10 strongest opponents that you have played, the average rating of them, right? Now we already know who everyone is playing in round 11, so we can calculate the end of tournament tiebreak one already.
Right.
So the last column that you see is the tiebreak, and that is what this table talks about. That for different players, what are the tiebreaks?
Right. So here, if you look at, you have made like two kind of columns there. Some names are in the red zone and some are in the white. Can you explain what that means?
Yeah, the red zone people are, even though they are half a point behind, there's no theoretical way for them to qualify for the
No
grand.
way. So they cannot finish in top two at all.
It's mathematically impossible for them to finish in top two, which is very heartbreaking, especially for Nihal. When I did the calculation, like I felt so bad seeing that Nihal had, there's no theoretical way, but yeah, that's where we are.
Right. So that means Bluebaum, Firouzja, Neiman, Giri, Kaimer, Abhimanyu Mishra, Arjun, and Andy Woodward. These are the 8 players who will fight for the 2 spots tomorrow.
That is correct. That is correct.
And I think it will make a lot more sense when we look at the pairings also side by side here. So what we see here is Bluebaum takes on Firouzja. But if we look at the person who has the best tie break, it is actually Abhimanyu Mishra, although he's on 6.5 points.
Yeah.
Which means that if Abhimanyu, yes, tomorrow, who's playing on board 7, beats Vidit Gujarati, he has very good chances of making it to the candidates.
Yeah, very good is subjective. I wouldn't say very good because that obviously depends on the people who are on 7. And when there are 5 people on 7, you have to really depend on things going your way in those matchups. But he has a chance, yes. He for sure has a chance.
So like I'm seeing that, board number 1, Bluebaum versus Firouzja. Now the thing is, Firouzja is the stronger player, clearly with his rating. But Bluebaum has been like super solid. So him having white and Firouzja black, I think draw could very likely happen.
It's not impossible, especially in a scenario. So let's be clear, right? Like the top 2, if they whoever wins in the top board, there's no other thing that they need. They are their destiny. The only 2 players actually whose destiny is completely in their own hands are Firouzja and Bluebaum. Win the game, get to candidates. There are chances, even if they draw, they can get into candidates, and I'll come to that in a second. But they are the people whose destinies are in their own hands.
Even the second board, right? No, actually not.
No. So the reason for that is, if you look at the tie breaks, Firouzja and Bluebaum have very high tie breaks. Giri, Hans, and Vincent, believe it or not, have exactly the same tie breaks.
You've put 2668.4 for Hans, 2668.1 for Anish, and 2668.1 for Vincent.
Yeah, but the rules state that you round the numbers to the nearest integer. The problem is that the Grand Swiss rulebook doesn't mention the rounding, but the general FIDE playbook mentions the rounding. So I'm assuming when Grand Swiss just says, okay, the tiebreak will be average of 10 opponents cut 1, 11 opponents cut 1, I assume they refer to the FIDE one, and then that's why it will be a rounding. So yes, pretty sure Giri, Vincent, and Hans have the same tiebreak one. They also have very similar tiebreaks too. But then we are talking about what happens on other boards, and it's very tough to predict the tiebreak.
Think about it this way: if Anish wins, or let's say Hans wins, but let's say Anish for the sake of argument, and Vincent wins against Arjun, They
Yeah.
both move to 8, and
Yeah.
imagine that Firouzja or Bluebomb wins.
Yeah.
Now that means that top spot is gone to one of Bluebomb or Firouzja, and
Exactly.
Anish and Vincent both
Yeah.
have 8 points,
Correct.
and their tiebreak 1, which is the average rating, is same.
Same.
And you are saying that tiebreak 2 also can be same for them.
It's Buchholz, and right now with Anish and Kemer, I think two of the three have exactly the same Buchholz. One of them has
I
slightly
mean,
less
how
Buchholz,
can you
but
have
all
the
of that.
same Buchholz when you played different opponents, right? Tomorrow there will be different
Yeah,
results.
yeah. There's no way to know what will happen tomorrow. With Buchholz, it's like with average, it's very easy to predict, which is the reason for having this tiebreak in Grand
Hmm.
Swiss, right? So that everyone going into the final round, that was the FIDE's justification. Everyone going into the final round should know what they need to qualify.
Hmm.
With Buchholz, you don't know because it depends on second round. You might have played an opponent who is 60th place in the ranking, but their results then matter.
Correct.
So it's very tough to then predict Buchholz.
What's
So I
the
don't even want
third
to go there.
tiebreak?
There's two Buchholz tie breaks. I don't remember, Sagar, because I didn't even bother predicting because it's very uncertain at that point of time.
So if it is also the same, then there could be like the fourth
Yeah,
tiebreak, or then
yeah.
I think eventually you have to what, draw chits or something.
There is a chance that the candidates qualifier will be depending will come from drawing of lots. This is Chess Numbers is a different Twitter account. I love his work. He has tweeted that he was the first one who looked at all the tiebreaks and said that, oh, this is possible.
Okay, okay. Well, I doubt if the second tiebreak would be same, but in this particular scenario,
Hmm.
Arjun has a chance to make it to the candidates. Firstly, he has to beat Vincent Keimer. That is
He
a
has to
given.
win. Exactly.
And then what are the results that have to go his way that he can make
Yeah.
it to top two?
Yeah. So for him to get into the top two, there are a few things that matter. One of the people on the top board will always be ahead of Arjun. So let's remove that from the equation. If they draw, then Matthias has a higher tiebreak than Arjun. If one of them wins, whoever is wins will obviously be higher than Arjun. So one spot for Arjun is gone. So Arjun is effectively playing in a tournament where the winner qualifies to candidates, and second board onwards are the remaining boards, right? That is the scenario for Arjun. So
Hmm.
to do that, he needs, and Arjun's tiebreak is higher than Anish and Hans. So the first thing
Also,
that
he is higher than Firouzja. That's insane, right?
he is higher than Firouzja, but that doesn't matter
No, because
because
imagine if Bluebaum and Firouzja draw,
yeah,
then and Arjun wins, he gets ahead of Firouzja.
he gets ahead of Firouzja. Exactly, and that is why that board doesn't matter because exactly one person will be ahead of Arjun. In
Always
any of
one.
the scenario,
Right.
it'll never be zero, it'll never be two. No
Hmm.
matter what happens on top board, exactly one of them two will be ahead of Arjun. If it's a draw or Matthias win, Matthias will be ahead of Arjun. If Firouzja wins, Firouzja will be ahead of Arjun. The
Correct.
other person will necessarily be below Arjun. So
Interesting.
as long as Arjun wins, board one doesn't matter. What matters is Anish and Hans has to be a draw.
Has to be a draw,
Because
and then both of them fall below Arjun because both have
yes,
lower tiebreak.
exactly.
And Vidit has to hold Abhimanyu to a draw or beat him.
Exactly. So that apart from Arjun winning, two things need to happen. Anish Hans needs to be a draw, and Abhimanyu does not win.
Hmm.
As long as that happens, Arjun qualifies. It's far-fetched. The worst thing would be Arjun misses out the candidate by one spot yet again. He's done that three times now. This will be the fourth time where
he's
he'll be the
always
first
this close.
non-qualifier.
Yeah, that
It'll be the
happens to
fourth
him.
time. Yeah, it'll be literally be the fourth or fifth time when he's the highest non if that happens, if he wins and then hopefully tomorrow is his lucky day and luck changes.
If Anish Giri wins his game,
Yeah.
does that seal his spot or that doesn't, right?
It largely does, but the only scenario where it doesn't is if Kamer also wins.
Hmm. And
And one of Matthias Firouzja win, right? Because if they draw, obviously, Anish overtakes both of them because Anish will be half point ahead. So as long as they're decisive on board one and decisive result on board three, there's a chance Anish versus Kamer might come down to a tiebreak.
they go into that book
Or
holes, right?
yeah. They go into
The
book holes and like
second
some other
tiebreak.
tiebreaks. Yeah, there are two or three more tiebreaks. And Anish and Hans actually very interesting because both of them are exactly similarly ranked in tiebreaks. So
Right.
there's no one between the two. So for them, it's exactly they are white and black, but the scenarios are exactly the same for the two of them. So
So
it's whatever you say for Anish can be applied to Hans also.
going into this round,
Hmm.
who should be playing for a draw actually out of these players? Bluebaum, I think a draw should be a decent result for him. He would keep his chances alive, right?
Yeah, the only way a draw doesn't work for Blue Bomb is if Hans and Anish is decisive and Vincent beats Arjun with black pieces.
Correct.
I'm pretty sure he would not want to. If I were in his shoes, rather, I don't want to predict chess players because I'm not a chess player. But in his shoes, I would probably not take a risk and I would go for a draw. Everyone else plays for a win, I think, on this table.
Mm. I was also wondering if Anish draws and Hans Niemann also draws and top board also draws, and if Arjun and Vincent also ends in a draw,
Yeah.
and then actually who would make it?
So if
And
all three are
imagine
draws,
Abhimanyu doesn't win.
if everyone is a draw, basically, if there's a stalemate on all boards, in the sense that there's no one moves, Matthias and Firouzja have the highest tiebreak.
Wow.
So Blue Bomb and Firouzja qualify if everything is a draw.
Interesting. So very interesting
Yeah, just
permutations here.
one last thing we didn't talk about is Abhimanyu's chance. Abhimanyu has by far the best tiebreak. He's 2.731 average opponent rating. He's played all the top guys, right? And even now he gets with it on a lower foot randomly. So his scenario is actually very similar to Arjun, except that when he wins, it doesn't automatically mean that Kemar has also lost. So when Abhimanyu wins, he also needs to ensure that Vincent hasn't won. But as long as that happens, he has chances to qualify.
Oh, yeah, I mean, more the draws, the better for Abhimanyu because he just has the best tiebreak that is there, but he needs to win. A draw is not enough for Abhimanyu there, and to beat with it with black is not going to be easy.
Exactly.
Okay.
The people who will be playing for a win with black are Hans and Firouzja, I would think. And Firouzja and Abhimanyu. And with white, Andy Woodward has a chance. Let's not forget.
we didn't talk
Andy
about
Woodward has
it.
a chance. Yeah.
How will Andy Woodward make it? Like, if he wins, and then what all results have to go his way?
Yeah, so for Andy, it's very similar to Arjun actually. What he needs is draw.
Board 1 is out. Like, one spot anyway goes.
Again, board one of them, and exactly one of them will be above. No, he needs a decisive result on board 1. If it's a draw, then Ali Reza is actually higher than him. With Arjun, it was fine because
No. It's 2686 and Ali Reza is 2684. So actually, it's
you're right. You're right. So it's exactly
the same.
Yeah. So board 1 is gone. So exactly one and only one in the top board will be ahead of him. Like we said, he needs a draw on both the other boards. Because if Vincent wins, he goes ahead. If Arjun wins, he goes ahead. If Anish wins, he goes ahead. If Hans wins, he goes ahead. But if all of them are a draw and Andy Woodward wins, Andy Woodward qualifies.
Right. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So literally, he needs 2 draws in those 2 games. Abhimanyu not to win, obviously, and he needs to win his own game.
So would you say that actually one of Matthias and Firouzja are bound to qualify tomorrow, or?
No, the only case that doesn't happen is if Vincent wins and the other game 2, board 2 is also decisive.
Right. Got it. Okay. Cool. So this is what we have in the open. We also have done something for the women's section here. Vaishali actually has the best tiebreak right now.
Yeah.
And she is playing against, she has a tough opponent tomorrow. She's playing black against Tanjongi. Lagno, I think, has the best chance because she is facing Ulvia Fatalieva.
Correct.
If Vaishali draws, she makes it, right?
Vaishali wins or draws, she makes it. It's not complicated because of her tie breaks. As long as she draws, only Lagno can overtake her, and the others can at best match her. That is not good enough because she has the best tie breaks. So Vaishali needs a draw to qualify. As simple as that. I haven't actually looked at if she loses, is there a way for her to get through? Given that she'd have lost to Tan, who anyway doesn't care about the candidate spot. She's already qualified.
Oh, yeah. Then Tan doesn't get it, right?
Tan doesn't get it. So I'm just trying to think. Give me 1 second. So let's assume if she loses, I'm doing this live. I haven't thought about this scenario. If Vaishali loses, that means Tan would have crossed, but that doesn't matter. Lagno plays Fatalieva.
Yes. And if Lagno loses, then Vaishali is anyway ahead. If Lagno wins or draws, then she is ahead of Vaishali. Fatalieva is out.
Yeah.
And Irina Crush, Song Yuxin. Oh, Yuxin can win it and Bibisara can win. So I think Vaishali losing means she has, I think, many permutations that she needs to go in her favor.
Actually, no. All she needs, I think the simplest way would be if Lagno loses. Because if Lagno loses, both Lagno and her opponent would be behind Vaishali. So there is a hypothetical
No,
scenario where
but
Vaishali
then
qualifies.
Yuxin Song can win and Bibisara can win, and both of them go to 8 points, and then they are both into the.
Yeah. So most likely she'll not qualify. But I was just thinking, is that even possible that she can qualify
She
despite
can.
losing? The answer is yes, because Anna Muzichuk might beat Bibisara, for
Right,
example,
right.
right? Or Crush Song might draw, which will not be good enough for either of them to overtake. Or Crush might win, which will also be work with White, right?
Oh,
So
actually, this is
there's a
interesting.
chance. There's
Yeah.
a chance for her to qualify even despite
So
losing.
imagine, even in this case where Lagno draws or wins,
Hmm.
she gets the top spot.
Hmm.
Tanjongi beats Vaishali, but Tanjongi is not interested in the spot. She already has it.
Hmm.
Irina Crush beats Yuxin, and Bibisara loses to Anna Muzichuk. Vaishali makes it.
So
Still,
basically, actually, the simpler way to say this is, if she loses, she needs at least two of Katarina Lagno. So she either needs Katarina. She needs two of three things to happen. Either Katarina loses, or uh, Yuxin doesn't win, or Bibisara doesn't win. Any two of these three things happen, and she's still qualifying.
right.
But the simpler thing is just draw or win, and you are
Yeah,
through.
but I do feel that with black pieces against
Yeah.
Tanjongi, it's a tough pairing and all three results possible there. But I
That is
would
true.
say it's a very comfortable spot for Vaishali in the sense that even if one loses in the last
Hmm.
round, to still keep some chances to qualify. That never
Yeah.
happens.
And you're not relying on nobodies, right? You're relying on Anna Mozichuk to win or
Right.
draw. You're relying actually on Anna Mozichuk to draw or Arena Crush to draw with White.
Correct.
So both of those things are very real possibilities that
Right.
might happen, right? And as
Right.
long as those two things happen, she qualifies regardless of what happens.
And this
So she has a
actually
chance.
is because Tan Zhongi already made it through the World Cup, which
Yeah,
right
yeah,
because
yeah,
third spot she played late Inge and
Late India.
she beat
Yeah,
her. So that's why this is where we are. Otherwise,
yeah,
that would not have been the case.
yeah, yeah. We didn't know back then who to root for third place because we focused on the final.
True, true. Wow, this is interesting. Prakhar, thank you for bringing this in. I believe tomorrow we get better idea when we are commentating. People are following the games thanks to these analysis. And guys, I'm going to put the link of Prakhar's Twitter account in the description. Do follow him. I think a lot of top players are following what he's putting up. And the moment it's out, they are like, okay, tomorrow this is the calculation. We need to be careful. So yeah, thanks,
let's
Prakhar, for doing this.
let's see. Hopefully, it was helpful for them. Let's see.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Sagar.